Welcome back to Straight Talk. I'm Laurel Porter, and welcome once again to my guest, Oregon Congressman Earl Blumenauer. Once again, it's great to have you here. Likewise. And I know you and I have talked before about something really important to you, and that is the Farm Bill. You've worked on it for years. You've talked to a number of stakeholders across the state about it. We have a picture of you with a man considered to be the most influential food movement person, the sustainable food movement, author Michael Pollan. This was from November when you held a forum to roll out your alternative farm bill. What's at stake with this farm bill? It expires next year.
Well, the Farm Bill is the most important piece of legislation, not just for farmers and ranchers in Oregon and around the country. It's the most important health bill because the Farm Bill literally subsidizes a diet that makes Americans sick. It's the most important environmental bill. The carbon impact of American agriculture is the leading cause of carbon emissions. It's an opportunity for us to deal with nutrition, with environmental protection. The current Farm Bill shortchanges Oregon farmers and ranchers. We get a fraction of the support for our priorities that go to a handful of states that grow these large commodity crops, corn, soybeans, cotton. We have a very diverse agricultural base. We grow a lot of food and nurseries, wine, and they get shortchanged dramatically. 80% of the Farm Bill is nutrition. SNAP, the food stamp program, how that is allocated is very, very important. The average farmer in America is 58 years old. We are having a crisis in terms of people who want to get into agriculture, and last year was the first time in years that there was an increase in the number of farmers, but it's not nearly enough to deal with the tidal wave of people who are retiring. We have an opportunity to recalibrate that. As you mentioned, I went around Oregon for over 2 years. We had this conversation with 5,000 people. We developed a 20-page report called Growing Opportunities, which is on my website. And then we took that report and crafted it into a 152-page bill that really is an alternative to what we do now that's better for the taxpayer, better for the environment, better for people who eat.
And you have a handbook there that you brought along, The Fight for Food. Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, in addition to the report and the bill, this is an illustrated guide about what the Farm Bill is, why people deserve a better Farm Bill, changes that we're talking about, resources, books, how to go about influencing it. And I'm very proud of this little zine. Some call it a comic book. I'm told that it's supposed to be referred to as a zine, but it is an illustrated guide in a step-by-step basis to try and make an amazingly complex subject something that is easy for people to understand.
Can people get a hold of one of those handbooks?
I have it on my campaign website. They can go there, earlblumenauer.com, and be able to get one.
I want to ask you quickly, we have about a minute and a half left, about the monuments. President Trump issued an executive order to dramatically shrink the size of 2 national monuments in Utah. And the very next day, the Interior Secretary has recommended that the president reduce the size of Oregon's Cascade-Siskiyou National Monument, covering 113,000 acres in southern Oregon. You've said you'll fight back. The governor said she'll sue the president if he does. What do you think is going to happen? Well,
I mean, this is America's heritage. These are some of the things that we're proudest of, going back to Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt. We've had bipartisan support for protecting some of America's special places. And this notion of, for the first time, of going back and taking away the protections is outrageous. It's not popular with the public. We will fight tooth and nail.
Well, Congressman Walden, though, supports this, and he thinks it's about time to have a sustainable forest plan after we saw all the forest fires last summer.
Well, taking Bears Ears, the Escalante Staircase, I mean, that has nothing to do with sustainable forestry. And I'm happy to debate the congressman in terms of how best to protect our forests. I don't think it's waiving environmental protections. I think it is actually funding support for our forests and fighting forest fires. But attacking the monument doesn't do anything to protect that.
I want to quickly end with this great photo of you from Twitter with you with the Congressman DeFazio, where you were exchanging gifts in about 15 seconds. Can you tell us about this gift exchange of your holiday fruitcake?
Well, I give out fruitcakes every year, no secret. And Peter every year has a gift that kind of gets me, and he gave me some socks that celebrate what I'm trying to legalize with marijuana. They're quite distinctive.
Congressman, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you.
And to you.
And happy holidays to you. We'll see you next time for Straight Talk.
Down to